Good morning. I'm Chief Pamela Smith of the Metropolitan Police Department here in Washington, D.C. I want to take a few moments just to kind of give an overview of the activities that occurred over the weekend, Memorial Day weekend. I will say I thought we had a very successful weekend when it comes to some of this orderly affray that we've seen in previous weekends since we imposed a curfew, especially at the wharf. We began the weekend with a kind of robust deployment plan that focused on key areas around our city. What I will say is I believe this whole of government approach to support our youth and ensure public safety, the efforts really paid off. By partnering with the Department of Parks and Recreation and other city agencies, we created a safe space and environment for our young people to come and recreate. We had approximately 700 youth period of time between Friday and Sunday. We're also pleased to report that the juvenile curfew at the wharfs was a success. There were no incidents reported specifically regarding our juveniles. When we did see young people coming down after the curfew hour, incident or any issues. When our officers did observe groups of juveniles gathering in the U Street corridor, our team made a quick shift and we responded to the area to ensure that we could disrupt some of that activity. But over the course of the weekend, we made approximately 13 curfew stops, and mostly these occurred in our U Street corridor. There were 6 violations for Friday night into Saturday, 5 from Saturday into Sunday, and 2 from Sunday into Monday. Some of those stop for curfew violations were young people who were from DC and Maryland. But I want to take a moment right now just to remind our parents and our guardians to please know where your children are. I've said it over and over again, and on many cases, that we want our young people to thrive in our community. We want them to be successful. One of the reasons why we imposed the curfew, specifically at the ward, was to ensure that we are not having disorderly behavior in those areas. In addition to enforcing curfew, our officers made several arrests of juveniles prior to the curfew hours. In total, between Friday and Monday, there were 6 juvenile arrests stemming from a high-capacity feeding device. We had some disorderly affrays, and then early Monday morning, we arrested 1 juvenile for assaulting one of our police officers. What I will say overall is that this weekend emphasizes to me, and I'm sure some of our city leaders and hopefully our parents, that we can achieve great success when we work together to support our youth by creating structure, providing initiatives, and staying focused on prevention. I want to take just a few moments just to talk about some of the shootings that occurred over the weekend. We are still gathering facts with some of these cases that took place over the weekend, but most of our incidents are under investigation, and what we do know that some of these individuals are known to their suspects. Unfortunately, we are seeing too many, and I'll emphasize too many interpersonal conflicts where the results are the production of firearms to resolve these conflicts. I'll take any questions you may have at this time.
Chief Smith, one thing I wanted to bring up since May 13th, from what we understand, there have been 15 homicides. Given the shooting that occurred yesterday, can you talk a little bit about, if you are seeing increase in violence here in the district and what's being done to address
And
it?
so, and thank you for that question. I think what we're seeing is really targeted conflict, interpersonal. We're not seeing, and oftentimes we talk about like crew-based shootings and things like that. These are individuals who know each other. These are either men and women or groups of men and women who are in conflict. And based on that conflict, instead of resolving it kind of sort of the way we wish they would, they produce a firearm, and then someone obviously loses their life and succumb to their injuries, which is what we do not want in our city. I can tell you, my detectives we have some very, very strong leads, and a lot of, if not the majority of our homicide cases that we're working right now. But what we want to say is that these are not random shootings. These are individuals who have either agreed to meet up at a particular area or agreed to meet at a particular location, and then there's an altercation, first verbal, because we've been seeing a lot of this on video, and then obvious physical, and then the use of a firearm.
Just one follow-up. You were saying that some of the teams that you all stopped were coming from Maryland.
Yes.
As well. Can you talk a little bit about some of the collaborations the district might be having with counties like Prince George's and Montgomery? I understand Prince George's also implemented similar tactics like curfews at national
Right.
trying to set up a youth advisory board. Can you talk a bit about how you all are working with these bordering counties to address this issue?
We always work with our bordering counties on in most incidents, and especially when it comes to our young people. We saw this kind of an uprising, if you will, of juvenile behavior or conduct last year. Clearly, the National Harbor set a curfew up for 5 p.m. We really wanted to work with our young people, and as I've stated before, we don't believe all of our juveniles need to be locked up, right? But we have to have a place and a space to work with them. We work very, very collaboratively with Montgomery County, PG County, even Arlington County and Fairfax County when it comes to what other agencies are doing and seeing with regards to an uptick in juvenile crime. And then we kind of look at the intelligence and gather the data that we have on our side to ensure that we're putting the right measures in place to address these incidents, if you will. Yes,
Chief?
sir.
It seemed like since the beginning of the year, we've seen homicides down and everything. Then all of a sudden, in the last couple of weeks, we've seen this huge uptick. I know that it's awfully early on speculation, but any idea as to why all of a sudden things have changed?
It's in personal conflict. I mean, I wish there was something I could say with respect to. It's easier to say when we know that there's an emerging problem or emerging issues. We have very good relationships with our violence interrupters who share good information with us that helps us in a lot of our cases. We're working with, clearly, we always work with our federal partners and our local partners to see if there's any comparison with regards to some of the same individuals, if you will, committing some of the same crimes in their area. And right now, it's really just targeted conflict. We are asking, folks to really pay attention to conflict that are taking place in their homes. Report that information to us so that we can get the appropriate resources and services to these members. I mean, clearly, I spent all weekend looking at every single case with my team. We broke it down from top to bottom, and what we're seeing is really just individual conflict. Any other questions? All right.
Chief,
Sir.
I have a couple questions about a couple homicides over the weekend. Do you
Yes,
have
sir.
any update on the gentleman who was shot and killed inside his apartment by a stray bullet? There's been no suspect description, no lookout at this point. Do you have any clarity or updates on that event?
And so what I can say, first of all, certainly anytime we have those kinds of incidents, our hearts and prayers go out to the family of the young man who succumbed to his injuries due to this stray bullet. Right now, we're still trying to obtain video footage. On the weekend, it's kind of sort of challenging when businesses are closed and things like that, still trying to obtain video footage on what actually occurred. The detectives have been working all weekend. We will continue to work this week. With regards to the shooting, or incident over at Congress Heights on yesterday. We responded to that incident, and what we do know at this time, there were 2 individuals who were shot. One succumbed to his injury. The other one was transported to the hospital for life-threatening injuries. Again, we are working very feverishly with the community, and the detectives are looking for video. We're going back today to see if we can obtain the video from the apartment property management to see what occurred in that space.
And then the 14th Street this morning, we saw a car towed away. Is there a suspect?
So no suspects as of right now. What we do know is that the individual, the decedent was leaving a bar in that particular area maybe a couple of hours earlier. That's what we do know. We've had some witnesses come forward to kind of share some preliminary information. Again, I don't want to get into the speculation. We're still trying to obtain video footage from some of the businesses around that I think will help us to really give a more clear direction on what happened in that area. All right. Thank you.
And Chief, just
Sir.
last question. Just with everything that's been going on, your message to the community.
Well, my message to the community is that we have to resolve conflict much better than the way we're resolving conflict. Introducing firearms to resolve issues and matters is just not the way to go. We're losing, individuals are losing their lives over something that we strongly believe could be handled and managed with just a conversation. I'll reiterate again, if family members are aware of any individual conflict that's going on within their families or amongst groups, please reach out to the Metropolitan Police Department. We want to be there to help, and what we can do is really direct those individuals to other resources around our city to be able to support them if there anything that folks might not have all the information about, but maybe a good witness account of what happened. We really want to be able to support those individuals or those families. Anyone else?
Yep.
Yes.
Hi, Chief. I apologize
I cannot confirm that. We're still in the preliminary stages of the investigation. I think as we progress further, more information will be revealed. Okay, thank you, everyone.